Okay, here's my UFConVERSUS predictions. Takes place this Sunday, March 21st in Broomfield, Colorado. Go through the preliminary bouts and then to the main bouts. First one, Daniel Roberts versus John Howard. I got Howard. Paulino versus Mike Pierce. I got Pierce. Darren Elkins versus Duane Ludwig. I got Ludwig. Jason Brilz versus Eric Schafer. I think Schafer has the better jiu-jitsu, better ground game. I think this is definitely going to go to the ground, so I'm going to go with Schafer. Schaub versus Cheick Gormley. Gormley's cardio is just too questionable for me, so I'm going to go with Schaub. Eliot versus Vladimir Matyushenko. Safe pick here is Matyushenko, obviously. Vladdy there. But I don't know, something about Eliot has improved so much since he was on the Ultimate Fighter show. He's improved his stand-up. Obviously, he was already great on the ground. Obviously, great at jiu-jitsu. Vladimir Matyushenko has okay stand-up. He's a great wrestler, awesome ground and pound. So, what we could see here is Vladimir Matyushenko taking the fight to where he thinks it's great, which is the ground. And I could definitely see Eliot submitting Vladimir Matyushenko. I know Vladimir Matyushenko has fought the best that's out there in the light heavyweight division. He's fought, for example, Little Nog. But come on now, Eliot is great on the ground at jiu-jitsu. And I truly think he can submit Vladimir Matyushenko. I truly do. Even though Vladimir is a veteran in this sport, gotta take a risk. I'm gonna go with Eliot over Vladimir Matyushenko. I think, even though he's great at jiu-jitsu, I think that's very underrated. I think it's gonna be underrated in this fight. I see Eliot beating Matyushenko, so I'm gonna go once again Eliot over Vladimir Matyushenko. That's my upset pick there, I guess you could say. Next one, Guida versus Shannon Gugerty. Guida's just too aggressive. Relentless, just too much for Shannon, I think. I got Guida. There's the preliminary bout. Now the main card, James Irvin versus Alessio Sakara. When I first heard this fight, I was like, why is Alessio going back up to 205? But lo and behold, I was wrong, and James Irvin is cutting to 185. First, James is a big 205er. He's a really big 205er. And now he's going to cut 20 more pounds to 185. Just wow. If this fight was at 205, or if there was no weight involved at all, I would just definitely have to go with James Irvin. I think James is more rounded than Alessio. I think he's better at stand-up. I think he's better on the ground. I think he has better cardio. Just pretty much all the way around, I have to give it to Irvin. But one question that comes into this fight is, how is James Irvin going to fight? How is he going to feel cutting 20 more pounds to 185? All the time you see fighters saying, you know, they'll cut the weight fine. In comes weigh-in, they're 3 pounds, 2 pounds overweight, and the commission has to be like, oh, that's too much. You can't cut anymore. So, is that going to happen to James Irvin? I hope not. I truly don't. I got to take his word. I'm going to go with Irvin, hoping that he does cut to 185 safely and does make a weight. But if he doesn't, Alessio Sakara does have a shot. But I'm going to go with Irvin. Second round TKO over Alessio Sakara. Next one, Kongo versus Buentello. This one's going to be a stand-up. I really don't see it going to the ground. Even though Buentello could take it to the ground, I really don't see it. So I'm going to go with, it's going to be a stand-up fight. Both have okay chins. I think Kongo's fight with Frank Mir kind of maybe dented a little bit of his chin. But I think when he fought Cain Velasquez, he kind of proved that he had heart and that he did have a good chin. So I'm not going to take anything away from Kongo's chin. Buentello, obviously, I think has a great chin, great heart. That guy just loves to slug it out. So in comes the cardio factor. Kongo, obviously his physique shows that he has some cardio, but I don't think it's as great as a lot of people think it is. Buentello, same thing. I think it's okay. I think he was a little gassed out in the Stefan Struve fight, and I think Kongo got a little cardio problems when he fought Cain Velasquez. So I think cardio both is pretty okay. But all the way around, I think Kongo's just a better stand-up fighter. I think he's faster than Buentello, and I think he probably has crisper punches, straighter punches. So I'm going to go Kongo. I don't see him knocking out Buentello, but I do see a decision. It could go split, so I'm going to go Kongo, unanimous or split decision. Next fight, Junior Dos Santos versus Gabriel Gonzaga. When I heard this fight, I was so excited. I was like, yes! because why? We could possibly finally see Junior Dos Santos on his freaking back. Gonzaga, if you're sleeping on this Gonzaga, you're crazy. I don't care that he just got beat by Shannon. I don't care his previous performances. Right now, Cheick Kongo, Gabriel Gonzaga is still a dangerous fighter, especially in this fight, because if not better than Frank Mir, I think he's better than Frank Mir in Jiu-Jitsu. But if you guys think he's not better than Frank Mir, he has to be number 2 in Jiu-Jitsu. So he definitely can take Dos Santos in his back. When he fought Gilbert Ivel, we all knew this was going to be a stand-up fight. It was playing right into Junior Dos Santos' hands. All of Dos Santos' previous fights, they played it into his hands as being a stand-up fight. Maybe besides the first one against Verdum, but that was kind of a shocker when Dos Santos knocked out Verdum. So, but this one, we could definitely see Gonzaga taking it to the ground. I hope so. That's what I think is going to happen. I see an upset here. I really do. So many people are sleeping on Gonzaga. I still think Gonzaga is dangerous. I think he's going to take Dos Santos to the ground. I think he has such good skills on the jiu-jitsu. The only thing I see problem with Gonzaga, they're 2 big ones, but he does have issue, is his heart and definitely his cardio. But I could see this fight ending in the first 2 rounds. I'm going to go with Gonzaga shocking the world with the second round submission over Junior Dos Santos. Trash me all you want. Right on the little area down there that I'm crazy about picking Gonzaga. But Gonzaga, 1, can take Dos Santos onto the ground. We haven't seen Dos Santos on the ground. Yes, he's a black belt in the Nogueira brothers. But how many times have you seen people who are great in Jiu-Jitsu but can't translate it into MMA? Is that Dos Santos? I'm not saying that, but it could be. And Gonzaga, I think, can test that. So, Gonzaga, I think, can take it to the ground, get something going, armbar, Kimura, anything. I think Gonzaga has the upset here. So, I'm going to go Gabriel Gonzaga, second round submission over Junior Dos Santos. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go Gabriel Gonzaga, first round submission over Junior Dos Santos. So, Gonzaga, shocking the world, again, against Junior Dos Santos, first round submission over Dos Santos. I know, I'm crazy. What are you going to do? Next one, the main event, Jon Jones versus Brandon Vera. And who can predict this fight? Truthfully, come on now. If you're predicting the winner of this and you're so, you're so confident on it, I'd love to have your confidence, because picking this fight, I'm not confident at all. Jon Jones hasn't fought the caliber of fighter as Brandon Vera. Vera has coming off some wins, some losses. He doesn't have that, I guess, spark that he had when he first fought. So you gotta give credit to Vera that he has fought some tough competition and he has beat that competition. And to be quite honest, when he fought Tim Sylvia, he did break his hand very quick in the fight. If he didn't break his hand, could it have been a different fight? I think it could have. Sorry. So there it is. Jon Jones, this guy's just, you can't get anybody into the gym to spar with you that's going to equal to Jon Jones. He's too awkward. He's lanky. He's so tall. Well, I think his reach is like 80 inches. He has like the longest wingspan in the UFC. This guy's crazy. He throws some weird-ass combinations, weird moves. Just a dangerous opponent. I think his fight against Matt Hamill, I think it kind of got, I won't say screwed, but he didn't, I think there should have been a no contest. I don't think it should have been a loss. So in my mind, I still think Jon Jones is undefeated. Brandon Vera, maybe a poor stoppage when he fought for Doom, but he's 11-4, I think. So this one, there's so many. I think they're so equal. So with this one, I pretty much went with what my heart first said, what my gut really said when I first heard this fight. I gotta go with Vera. Brandon Vera, unanimous decision, but I could definitely go with Jon Jones. But there it is. There's my predictions for UFC on Verse. I'm so happy that DirecTV has Verse back on TV. I can see WEC in this fight now, finally. So I'm awesome with that. DirecTV has Verse back. And there it is. So there's my UFC on Verse.